everybody. My name is Wilson Cheney, and welcome to the first edition of Unfiltered Interviews. Our guest today is the commissioner of the Nex Pro League, Casey Williams. And Coach, you had an extremely busy week so far. Last day of the regular season yesterday. Now playoffs are approaching. What's been kind of the expectations going into this crucial week?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Like you say, it's been a crazy week. For those who know, we've been, displaced. And the Rona got us again. We've started the season, this year's season, which we're very fortunate to have at the Forge. We're grateful for the Forge for allowing us to be able to host, our annual, the Houston Pro-Am there. With that being said, though, we were able to get back to Fundy, and just Friday we found out that we were going to be moving away from Fundy again because someone had contracted COVID over there, one of the kids in the SCP program. So therefore, now we are getting ready for the playoffs as we were looking forward, like you said, to finishing the regular season and getting the seedings in place or what have you as we build for the top 8 teams who are going to actually be in the playoffs. We're now at the Justin Robinson Community Center. And we just really trying to finish up strong, trying to keep as much normalcy as we possibly have, that we can create as much normalcy as we can possibly create in this abnormal environment. It's a crazy climate right now. Still.
Right. And before we get super in-depth in the interview, I just want to ask you, compared to last season, the COVID pandemic happened, the league had to get shut down. This year is pretty different. What has been the importance of learning how to adjust on the fly, especially this year?
Man, you gotta be able to think on your feet, and wouldn't be able to do it without our team. I don't want everyone to think it's just me. So without our team, we wouldn't definitely be able to do it. But you just gotta be flexible. You gotta be able to make decisions on at the drop of a hat and just go with all the time keeping the best interest of the players and then the fans, all that in mind. We're trying to do one of the biggest and best things in the city of Houston. And obviously we weren't able to do it last year in 2020 because of COVID. So this year we're just really still happy to be able to have it, but still trying to be diligent and cautious about how we go about doing it. And that's with respect to, requiring masks and things like that. Because, as you know, the variant, the new variant is running rampant right now. So we're just trying to do our part and it's at the same time provide entertainment for the Houston community and give the players a platform to be able to showcase their skills and work on their craft.
Okay, so let's do a little time travel right now. Let's take it back to 2016, where No Excuses Fun started happening.
Yes.
You, your wife Jillian Williams, your cousin Andre Potts.
Yes.
What has been kind of the nucleus of the brand, and what's been the foundation for you guys to get started off?
The foundation, I guess, would have to we attribute it to my passion for basketball. For all those that I want to be clear again, this is the Houston Pro-Am. The No Excuses brand on it is just an extension of our nonprofit organization, the No Excuses Foundation, which I feel like more people should know about. We do a lot of work in the Houston community, and we really want to do more. And by way of providing scholarships for disadvantaged youth. And really, the foundation, the premise of it is basically to eradicate the excuse-making mentality that we feel is, too frequently played a lot of inner city disadvantaged youth across the city. And we feel, through support, mentorship, and opportunity, last but not least, opportunity, we feel like, people can do whatever they want to do, but you can't make excuses and do whatever you want to do. So you have to choose. You choose excuses, or you choose to just go hard. And that's on and off the court. And that's basically the mindset of the No Excuses Foundation, and rather No Excuses name being attached to the Houston Pro-Am, that banner where that all derives from. Obviously, it transcends just basketball, but I'll stop there with basketball. We like to apply that in the realm of basketball as well. A lot of players, well, he didn't like me, or well, this did happen. No excuses. Get it done. And so my mama told me when I was little, she used to always say, it doesn't matter what anyone else does to you, it's what you do to yourself that'll hurt you the most. So I feel like if we could kind of apply that to our lives and just really go hard and have more accountability, would be better, like I say, in every and anything that we do. And that's the whole point. We just want to support any and all in doing so.
There's always this quote going around stating a man's greatest purpose in life is how well he can serve others. Mm-hmm. And like you said, with the No Excuses Fund, y'all done an extremely great job in that. Y'all contributing food drives, giveaways, and like you said, you want to work on scholarships for the rest of the kids.
Yes.
How does it feel to have your impact reach throughout the city of Houston and seeing everybody get the effect of it?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know really how to answer that. I answer it best I can. For me personally, I see so much more that we can do, and that's probably more my focus. When I probably should look at just what we have done, because we're doing what we can. But I kind of had a tendency to focus on what all else we can do. But I understand that through coalitions and partnerships, that's how those things happen. And I've learned that kind of the hard way. Partnering with other nonprofits and what have you, and then having to partner with other businesses and entities. You get strength in numbers, really, truly. So you can have an idea, but really, they say it takes a village. It really does. So I'm feeling the effects of, we want to do more. I say that we want to do more. That's kind of what our focus is.
And speaking of partnerships, you guys had the opportunity to work with James Harden when he was a player for the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
He had his foundation called the James Harden Weekend.
Yes.
And I feel like you guys make total strides when you became involved into that program. How important was that contribution to the Nex Pro League being involved in that program?
It's a great point. That's exactly what I was just alluding to when I mentioned, partnering up. Through the hard way, his mom, Manya, James, they do a good job with their foundation, and we were just fortunate enough to be able to partner with them and kind of link up. Obviously, anybody know James, he's passionate about basketball, and that's something that we were happy to do. We felt like it was a big value add with them, and we hope that we brought something to the table as well. And that's the whole thing about partnerships. It's when you bring something to the table, they bring something to the table, and both of y'all benefit from it, and that's it. But JH Day is actually coming up again in a couple of weeks. Again, he does that annually, so that's something we'll be open to continuing to work with him, and as well as others actually partnering up with. So I look forward to it.
And one year, y'all had the James Harden Weekend. It was at Texas Southern, and unfortunately, I was unable to be a witness to it. I heard it was extremely crazy. You had characters artists like Travis Scott, Meek Mill, the late great Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Did you think all this work that you were forming to do would lead you to meet great figures like that?
No. You don't think about it in those terms. You just try to do the best you can, and they're good. The celebrities are good. But the impact is greater for us, what we can do to help. But it is. I'd be lying to you if I told you it wasn't cool being able to see those guys, and be a part of that. It's we've had some experiences where it was like wow, but also it's just important to stay focused on what your mission is and being able to make an impact, and that's where we are right now, just trying to make an impact.
You had the great opportunity to watch multiple players from the Houston area grow up and play in the NBA as well. We're talking about Jonathan Simmons, like you mentioned earlier, Shannon Shorter, Daniel House, Jared Vanderbilt. With all those guys coming to the Next Pro League and playing, how does it feel for you, like watching over these guys, watching them grow and develop over the years?
Man, you going back. I mean, seeing a lot of guys play. You know, we can go back further than that. Like I say, the Houston Pro-Am, No Excuses Pro League, what it is now is predates really me. It really does. It predates me. There's been several guys. The history is so rich. You know, just a few of the guys that I've witnessed play there. Ty Lue, the coach, you know, of the Clippers right now. Ron Artest, you know, Darren Williams, Steve Francis, Katino Mobley, Nick Van Exel, T.J. Ford, Damon Stoudemire, and yeah, there's a lot of guys. Just a bunch of guys that I personally have seen, you know, come through there. Kendrick Perkins, everybody see on TV now. Kendrick's playing for our time. Rashard Lewis, Daniel Ewing, these guys really helped make it. And then you got to talk about local guys. We're fortunate enough to still have Myron Allen, who is a legend here, you know, still playing. You know, Dwayne Rogers, you know, obviously retired now, but he is who our MVP trophy is named after. So many guys, Selwyn Wilkerson, who's still coaching in the league. You know, Frank Seals, who's won more championships than ever, who the Coach of the Year award is named after. So seeing Sims and Shannon, obviously they hard working, they pass that they've taken, and amongst others, those guys experienced a lot of success through their work ethic, and that's what I would like to just tell the players. You know, guys, it just doesn't happen. It's very competitive, so it's just really gonna come down to what your work ethic looks like. And you know, we do our part by providing a platform for them to showcase their skills. And you know, I've seen several guys over the years get jobs just from playing and throwing. And that's the whole point. Again, that's another way we could help and assist. And I always say, I think the program should either do one or two things: either make you better or expose you. You know, and we got some older guys that try to come in and hold on and play like that. But it's up to the younger guys to push them out. So we need a lot of the more younger guys to come in and play. And that's why we make sure that it's NBA sanctioned. You know, the NBA is going to definitely prove that the NBA players can play in it. And we make sure that it's NCAA certified. And those are not easy things to do. But we make sure we get it done because we want a certain look. We also have, make sure that we have a certain caliber of referee. And we have 3 NBA referees that oversees other refs. And there will not be a referee in our league who does not referee at least Division I basketball. They're going to be Division I, G League, or NBA. And so those are some of the things that you're talking about, the Houston program that we really try to focus on, and just providing a great environment for guys to go at each other and get better, you know.
And throughout the years, most of the games were held at the legendary Fondy.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it just does something to people. It shines a big light on the folks that had never been shown on there before. How would you describe just the atmosphere of Fondy? Like, what makes it different from any other gym that you could walk into?
Man, I think I mean, you know what? If people believe in energy, it's just an energy at Fondy. And along with the size of the court, you watch guys, they'll go play and drop 30 in other leagues. There's a lot of good leagues around the city. They'll drop 30 in those leagues and come to the Fondy and score 15. It's just different. It's a different stage. I think the regulation size floor is one of them that kind of contributes to that. But there's an aura there as well. Along with the competition being better, of course, it's probably a great factor as well. But Fondy is rich in history, and it's just nothing like Fondy. We're making efforts now to help get it renovated. We want to keep it as a historical marker. So we definitely want to keep Fondy around and keep the basketball tradition. It's the mecca of basketball in Houston. That's absolutely what it is.
You have other leagues nationwide, such as Dykeman. You have the J Crossover, Seattle Pro-Am.
Oh, yes.
You also have the Drew League in LA.
Yeah.
How would you like to grow the Nex Pro League in order to be on the same level as those guys? Because I feel like it already is, but the nation still hasn't been caught on to it yet. What kind of work do you think has to be done in order for it to be raised at that particular level?
I think for that to happen, it's the players. The players. You know, COVID, we took a hit with COVID with the players. So it really comes down to the players. So we, if the players are playing, you know, we got, like you said, you mentioned Shannon Shorter, big time professional in his own right. But it's just the players. I think we're all on our way there. The most we've had in 1 year is 17 NBA players playing. And that was back in 2017. Now back in yesteryear, we had over 40 NBA players playing. So back in like 2006, 2007. So we've been there. You know, a lot of things you're witnessing at the Drew and what have across the right now as far as current. It's like, but what is, you know, we live in a world now, if it happened yesterday is old. And what have you done for me lately type world. So in terms of today's fans, they haven't seen that current, you know, the current players come in a large group here, you know, recently. So we thankful for Jared. You mentioned Jared Vanderbilt. Thankful for Jared coming this year. He showed up and showed out. We're grateful for him. We want to say thank you to him to come out, but we just need more players locally to come out and play and support. That's all it takes, and then it's there.
This season, I was going around just talking to multiple athletes, interviewing them, as you can see. And most of these guys I've done research on, they all played in the NBA, G League, overseas. Like literally guys that you don't really hear about, but they're under the radar, but their games are extremely, extremely talented.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest the league, like how would you let the league bring on more NBA players, or how would it be more attractive to let more guys hoop for the league?
I think when you look around, when you mention the country, it's just something they gotta want to do. Nowadays a lot of guys just they like to work out and they do their thing in the summers. They travel. So as we're getting back to it, I just see it happening. You know, COVID happened last year. I really do just see it happen, but it just got to be some guys want to do. And some guys want to play in the summer, some guys don't. You know, and I do believe though, like the more as time go on, you know, this year, next year, you're seeing a trend. You'll see guys kind of jump in and come in, drop in for a day or two. But I also want to say, you mentioned some of they have the NBA guys, but Shannon Shorter's not in the NBA, but he's one of the better players. Yeah. You know, Jay Sims, formerly NBA, still one of the better players.
Right.
So a lot of times, you know, you got the NBA guys, they know when guys can play. So it's, you know, do they have the courage to come in and go against this guy and potentially get shown up? So that's another aspect of it. But in terms, that's all you can do is hope for it. They just gotta want to play and have a competitive gene in there in them to where they want to get out there like that, you know, and just challenge themselves and keep their skills sharp.
When you compare Texas to other surrounding areas like LA, New York, where it's a hotbed full of basketball talent. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people could come down here and tell you that the down south flavor is different.
Yeah.
A whole lot different. So I really feel like the Nex Pro League could elevate to that point, but like you said, players just have to join. But last year with the pandemic hitting, let's take it back to there. Where were you exactly when you found out that we probably won't have a league that year? Like, where were you exactly, and what were your initial feelings towards that news?
Since the pandemic, I was here in Houston, but I remember monitoring it. So the exact place I was in Houston, I don't really recall, but because I had been monitoring it, I had a concern that grew into a fear, or a fear that grew into a concern, more appropriately stated, that we potentially would not, because we partnered with the city of Houston. I knew probably I was looking at the mandates that were going down in other cities. And to be frank with you, once it hit LA, and I got access to Dino, and his daughter in LA. So there's a Drew League, and chatting with them. And then once they got the call that they were going to cancel it, I had been talking to Dino, and he said, "Well, we waiting, and we don't get approval by this day." And so I was like, "Dang!" And so when that happened, I was like, "Wow!" So that was more of a deal to me when they wasn't happening. Then I was like, "Okay, what about us?" You got blue state, red state, and all that kind of stuff. But when it did happen, I wasn't surprised. I was disappointed, but I can't say I was surprised that it actually happened. Very disappointed, but at the same time, I understood it, and it was the right thing for us not to have it. COVID is an unknown deal, and like I say, we ain't seen something like this in over 100 years. So I think it's disappointing as much as I love basketball and the players like to play. Community likes to come out and watch the guys play. I think it was the right thing to have it, not to cancel the season last year.
Would you say it was your darkest, like throughout all your years in the Nex Pro League, would you consider that the darkest moment of the league, or you would think something else?
Oh no, by far. Because what people don't realize is by not having it last year, it's been 2 years since we've had it. And if we wouldn't have had it this year, it would have been 3 years since we've had it. And that would have been okay if it was 2007, 2008, 2009.
Right.
But in today's world, people on to the next. It's like a restaurant people can go there all the time. Restaurant closed down, they go somewhere else. So that's from that standpoint, understanding that. And that what we're doing it though, and I think our team has done a great job. I can't mention our team and reference them enough. The whole team, everyone who helps out. Marco does a great job. Like you mentioned, Andre, tremendous help. All our interns, all of our staff, concessions, just everyone. Willie, who was making sure the floor stays clean. Everyone, the dancers. We got 3 dance teams. The directors, Miyoka and Tanya, they do a great job. It's a lot of people that make this happen. All our support staff, so they've done a great job. It's kind of getting us back on track,
right? No
doubt.
And judging from the 2019 year, you could say the momentum was rising up quickly with the Nex Pro League.
Oh yeah.
Then the pandemic happened. With this year, with the new Delta variant running rampant, as you can see, how would you guys react to a scenario to where the league might get shut down again or something drastic like that? Like, how would that impact you all individually?
Oh, if it had happened again, if it's deja vu.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, though.
Worst case scenario, then if that's happening, then again, people's health is always most important. Period. We'll be able to play ball again, and we'll come back bigger and stronger. But you always got to think health and safety first. Health and safety first. So if that was to happen, I would trust that it's happening for a good reason and a good cause. And that being said, I think more people need to get vaccinated. We back to wearing masks again. People complain about wearing masks, but then they don't want to get vaccinated. So now we back to wearing masks. So it's a free country, and we thank God for it. But I think it's pretty evident that we can all be out of this and be in a better position if we all get on the same page. So that's all I got to say about that.
Gotcha. So I want to dial back to the players, because obviously with a league such as great as the Nex Pro League, there's always going to be some issues with it.
Yeah.
You're going to have some players that kind of act out, kind of bump gums a little bit, kind of show their stuff a little bit. How are you guys able to handle that throughout the years? Because I know you've seen plenty.
It's basketball. Man, you show me you're in no league. Be the CBL in China, Maricopa, it doesn't matter. It could be the Euro League, it could be a Y League, any league. I don't know. Everybody I play, they gonna grind. It's basketball. What I would say though is evaluate I would try to tell players always evaluate themselves first.
Right.
If you missing shots, maybe what you shot. If you shot 2 for 8, maybe you need to practice more. If you getting the ball stolen, y'all not executing, maybe you need to watch film and get your IQ up. Work on your ball handling. So I always look at self first things you could do. We can blame the referees every game. I've had players in the past, they don't win the championship, they blame me. I'm not playing. So and that's one of the lovely things about the name of it. You say Nex Pro. Nex Pro is really short for No Excuses Pro League. And that was a handle for social media purposes. But the no excuses is really no excuses. Get it done and challenge you. Look at yourself in the mirror first. That's what I would tell any player. Look at yourself in the mirror first, and we just can go from there.
And speaking of no excuses, you always had an innovative mind to bring new things towards the league. I remember the first year that I came on, you all had a halftime show, 3-point contest. You always thinking of ways of just making the league better.
Yeah.
How are you able to keep your mind so fluid in order to throw in all those new ideas in order to keep people coming?
Well, basketball is the draw. It's entertainment, and the players are entertaining a lot of them themselves. But it's also going back to the foundation. We are big on this basketball as well as the arts.
Right.
So we do part of our fashion shows, and then we also with music with different artists, local artists. We've had Toby to perform, who's I'm happy to say, to see him go and blow up after performing with us. No one knew who he was. We performed at Fundy back in 2017, and now everyone knows about it. Y'all on BT, MTV, all that. So we just want to we give players an opportunity. We give different entertainers an opportunity to showcase their talents, and that's what it's really all about for us.
And also, big shout out to Miss Mioka McBride, the director of the Nex Pro Dancers. Also, big shout out to your wife, Miss Jillian, for the fashion show. As you guys make those advances towards the lifestyle end, what are some of the new things that you want to introduce as the league goes on?
And the things we're going to introduce will probably just be more of the same that we've done as far as the entertainers, as far as the dance teams, and making sure the players are competitive. It's a competitive and a safe environment for them. That's the main focus. Just we keep the players safe, and we create a competitive environment for them. And again, for the Houston community, where they can come out for free and watch, players that they typically wouldn't be able to see.
Right.
Not just your average round-the-way players, but players that you would usually, the average kid would not be able to see. And that's the greatest thing about the Houston program. We provide an opportunity for families and kids in particular to be able to bump into a James Harden, bump into a Patrick Beverly. Mm-hmm. And if you go down to Toyota Center, and it's slim enough for them to ever get an opportunity to do that. You right there, you take pictures and get autographs with them. Mm-hmm. Like Jared, who's with the Minnesota Timberwolves, come in and take pictures with people the other day. He was kind enough to do that. So that kind of experience is something we really, really relish and we don't take for granted.
And one thing I feel like that gets really misconstrued in the public eye, people view these athletes as like superhuman, as like a certain pedestal. At the end of the day, they're just like us too.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have emotions, they have
right.
feelings and everything. And just to see NBA players just go around, interact with the fans, able to take pictures like Jared Vanderbilt did, how rewarding is it for you to actually see that? Because if you go to other leagues, a lot of players have their security with them.
We look forward to that in the future.
And to close off, what would you say is the end goal of the Nex Pro League? Because everybody has their certain destination they want to get to,
Yeah.
to where they feel like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
So what would you describe as your end goal for the whole league?
To where, that's a good question, to where kids that are attending can watch professionals play, learn from them, and they ultimately play in it and give back to other kids. So, but to the same token, dancers who aspire to dance, artists who aspire to entertain, can come up and we can assist and help usher them along to greatness. Just to provide a platform to where anyone, whether you play basketball, whether you plan to want to do photography, videography, editing, whether you want to sing, dance, or whatever, we provide an opportunity for you to pursue that and be great at it. That's the when I can see that and see others who come up and then they get there, that's rewarding for us. You know, that we kind of help usher them along and gave them a platform to do their thing. That's it. That's rewarding enough for us. As long as we can continue to do that for years and years and years to come, until someone else can try to take it over and we can continue it, then that's success to me.